Sophie Cunningham let it be known she was going to stand up for her teammates, insinuating that if anybody mess with Caitlin Clark, bruh, she like to put the paws on you, dog. And that is something we knew that was going to happen. She said she's a vocal leader out there on the court, and she's looking forward to winning a championship alongside this wonderful ball club.
Sophie Cunningham just made the biggest statement of her career, shaking up the WNBA. At her Indiana Fever arrival, she confidently faced the cameras and sent a clear warning to anyone thinking about getting physical with Caitlin Clark.
She dropped a whole lot of information on the internet right now, and a lot of people have it buzzing, man. We're about to get into it.
Like a sheriff walking into a lawless town, Sophie Cunningham made it clear, "I protect myself and my teammates." And she means business. The Fever got pushed around last season, but that ends now. With Cunningham and Clark teaming up, Indiana might finally have what it takes to become a championship contender.
Initially, she wasn't supposed to get a press conference, but I think the growing support and love for Sophie Cunningham grew for them to do something for her. Many fans like her. She is definitely going to be someone that I believe is going to sell a lot of jerseys, and they had to give her some type of press conference.
Sophie Cunningham's popularity has skyrocketed in a way no one expected. She's now the second most popular player on the Fever roster. The organization even gave her a grand entrance, and she delivered an unforgettable interview, one we're about to dive into.
I'm stoked. I'm so excited. I think it's refreshing. I've been in Phoenix for the past 6 years, was drafted out there. I've had a really great time. I've been very blessed with being around a lot of GOATs in the game and learning the game on another level.
Sophie Cunningham made a name for herself in Phoenix as one of the WNBA's fiercest competitors. With her gritty, no-nonsense style, she never backs down. Now, she's bringing that same intensity to Indiana with a clear mission that could change everything for the Fever. So, what excites Sophie the most about this new chapter? The team's high-powered offensive system.
This is just a new style, and this is the style that I thrive in. When you have people who can shoot the ball, who move the ball, who are running gunners, and share the ball, like this is the type of offense that I want to be in. And so I'm just stoked. And like I said, the offense is more my style, but I'm also surrounded by a great culture and great people, and that's what I'm also very excited about to be here in Indiana.
That's right, Sophie couldn't hide her excitement when talking about Indiana's fast-paced style of play. With a big smile, she said, "This is the style I thrive in." Her eyes lit up as she described an offense built for players who can shoot, move the ball, and run the floor, perfectly suited to her strengths.
She's going to add so much depth to this team.
The basketball fit here is seamless, like puzzle pieces falling into place. Sophie is a sharpshooting wing who excels in transition and thrives on ball movement. Indiana's up-tempo style maximizes everything she does best, making it feel like she's stepping into an offense built just for her.
The Fever, it's going to be showtime in Indiana, man. That's what it looked like. So Sophie understands the new wave that's going on with the Indiana Fever, with the run and gun, the faster pace of play. When these new players come from college, this is the type of game style that they're going to have, and most leagues are copycat leagues. So if the Indiana Fever pull off a championship, you can bet every dollar in your pocket that other teams are going to start forming their teams to look like Indiana Fever.
Beyond the X's and O's, Sophie made it clear that Indiana's culture was a major draw for her. She spoke openly about feeling surrounded by great people and a strong team environment. Championship teams aren't built on talent alone, they're built on trust, shared values, and a unified vision. Then, the interview took an interesting turn when she was asked about protecting her teammates. Last season, the physical toll on Caitlin Clark was obvious in nearly every game.
Indiana Fever, man, they allow people to just push them over. Christy Sides pushed over by Seattle Storm's coach. You know, Aaliyah Boston only smiling and laughing about Kennedy pushing Caitlin over, and then she go over there and pick her up.
There were shocking moments last season, like when Seattle's defenders sent Caitlin Clark crashing to the floor on a fast break, and her teammates barely reacted. Time after time, Clark had to pick herself up with little backup. Fans could see how uncomfortable it was watching her endure that treatment. Sophie has clearly seen enough. She addressed the issue head-on. "I'm fierce, I'm sassy, I stick up for my teammates, and I stick up for myself." That's exactly what Indiana desperately needed. Her statement carries the intensity of someone who has watched how teams treated Clark, and she's putting the entire league on notice.
When you're trying to do something great, it takes everybody, and so I want her to go do her thing, and anything she needs from me, I'm going to be here. But again, I think that just the competitor that I am, I'm fierce, I'm sassy, I stick up for my teammates, stick up for myself, and so sometimes I think that's okay to be feisty and to be yourself.
What makes Sophie's arrival so important is that she backs up her words with action. Throughout her career, she has consistently defended her teammates, fully embracing a physical style of play. She specifically mentioned being feisty and emphasized that it's okay to play that way, normalizing the idea that standing up for teammates is essential to winning basketball.
It is good. No foul is called, and now tempers are flaring. Quickly, Maisha Hines-Allen has to be held back by Natasha Cloud.
Clark was clearly targeted last season. Opponents knocked her down, bumped her off screens, and tried to intimidate her. While she showed remarkable composure, the lack of protection was a glaring weakness for Indiana.
The other thing that sticks out like a sore thumb, man, is basically I protect myself, I protect my teammates. And I think she had to say that because Sophie is not going to be playing with Caitlin, man. She's not going to be playing about Caitlin.
Sophie's reputation changes the dynamic instantly. When she talks about protection, she speaks from experience. She's built her career on standing up for teammates. Now, she's making one thing crystal clear: mess with Caitlin Clark this season, and you'll have to deal with Sophie Cunningham too.
Same thing that a lot of people were looking for with Indiana Fever, man. Just protect yourself. Have a backbone. Don't let anybody just run you over. And even when that happens, the ref feel like they're comfortable to make certain calls because your team is not going to complain about it. They're not going to hear issues and get yelled at about it and all this other stuff. So you have to have a backbone, man. Sometimes the coach has to get a tech, in order for the ref to understand, hey, I'm not going to sit here on this sideline and allow you to make these crazy calls and none of them going our way.
These questionable calls and physical play won't go unchecked anymore. Opposing coaches now face a new dilemma. Will they adjust their defensive schemes knowing Sophie is watching? Teams can't use the same physical tactics without consequences. Sophie's presence acts as a protective barrier, allowing Clark to focus on her game instead of constantly looking over her shoulder. It's like gaining an on-court big sister, ready to step in at the first sign of trouble.
Can you imagine this young lady as the enforcer? Ooh, look out. Look out. Welcome to Indy. We can't wait to see you rocking the uniform. Every single game's ignited.
There's something even bigger than Sophie's physical presence at play, a basketball legacy being passed down. When Sophie revealed, "Diana took me under her wing," she exposed a direct championship lineage now connecting to Caitlin Clark. This mentorship could accelerate Clark's development in ways no one saw coming.
She's still young, and I think that I've been taken under. Diana took me under her wing, and I've learned a lot from her, and now I hope to kind of do the same for Caitlin if she wants it. I just think the relationship piece is huge. And
think about this: Diana Taurasi, arguably the GOAT of women's basketball, has multiple championships, Olympic gold medals, and an unmatched competitive fire. During their time in Phoenix, she personally mentored Sophie Cunningham, passing down championship wisdom that can't be taught in practice drills. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sophie is now passing that torch forward. She made it crystal clear: "I've learned a lot from her, and now I hope to kind of do the same for Caitlin if she wants it." This creates a powerful three-generation basketball knowledge transfer, like a sacred flame being carried through history from Taurasi to Cunningham to Clark.
But Sophie is someone also, if you guys remember back at WNBA All-Star, there was this clip that was going viral where Sophie grabbed Caitlin and was like, hey, do you want to come to Phoenix? And she has been very vocal in the media that she loves Caitlin Clark's game and she would love to play with her at some point. And so I just feel like she is going to be a great fit for this team. She is going to be able to add more space to the court. And that is something with Natasha Howard, you have a threat in her scoring the basketball, and her bag is pretty deep, and then obviously you have that veteran leadership.
What makes this revelation so significant is that championship DNA transfers through relationships, not just drills. Sophie emphasizes, the relationship piece is huge. When you're trying to do something great, it takes everybody. She's talking about the deep bonds that form the foundation of championship teams, just like a master craftsman teaching an apprentice through daily interaction.